Welcome to another episode of the Solo Scaled Podcast, one of the podcasts of the AI driven marketer. And today I have Melissa Maughn with me. She is a personal branding expert and video speaking coach. So I am going to have to be on my toes because she might have 1,000 pointers for me after this.
Thank you
Uh,
so much for having me. Thanks, Ken.
Yeah, well, Melissa, I'm super excited. We were just talking about all things family right before the podcast and just got a little bit about your story. So I'm really excited to talk with you and really, one, just hear your origin story. Like, what actually made you start your business? And then we'll kind of go into the details of how you're working and growing it. But tell me a little bit more, like, what made you start it?
So yeah, it's interesting because I never grew up wanting to have a business. It's nothing that I thought I would ever do. I wasn't entrepreneurial as a kid, but when I started dating my now husband, he's a musician, and so I thought I'm going to be a good girlfriend and good fiance at some point, and I'm going to help him with his business. So I started learning photography, videography. In school, I had done some things of learning how to make posters and marketing materials and things like that. So I utilized those skills too and started helping him with social media. And then my friend during the pandemic, she was starting her social media manager business, and she just said, "You know what? Like one of my best friends, she's like, you should start a business too. Like, do it with me. Let's do it together. Kind of thing. Not have a business together, but start your own because you're really good." She said. So I was like, okay, and that's pretty much how I started. It was just from helping my husband and learning all the things and taking courses and then kind of being encouraged to walk the path myself. And here we are. Here's where I am right now.
Oh man, all I'm thinking is how many spouses and partners would kill to have someone like you who would be like, take over my personal branding and marketing.
Yeah.
It's a godsend.
Yeah, it's like he does, some of his like musician friends, because I'm also I can actually add another slash to my name there. I'm also tech, a sound guy, and a roadie as well. So
And that's part of the job of being married to a musician, I guess.
that's just part of it. I know how to roll up the leads without them curling up. So
It's funny because I used to do this is way long ago, youth conferences, and we used to hold events like that. And it's like, man, those guys, roadies, is like we're
yeah.
particular on how you roll that stuff up. It's like, you know,
Yes. Yeah.
because if you just go like this, grab it, and just start spinning it, they're like, bro, what are you doing? It's like an
Yeah.
anathema to them.
They're like horrified.
Like you might as well have killed their firstborn. Um, okay, so Melissa, as you now today, you we were talking about a little bit about this, but you actually had a little obstacle with your business where in 2024 you just kind of shut it down. You were like, I'm done. I'm not taking any clients. I
Yeah.
know a lot of business owners who they just get tired and fatigued and they're like, I'm done. What made you decide to stop? What happened there?
so so yeah, like I said, I started my business. It was in the end of 2020,
Yeah.
and so I was going. And then in 2023, that's where it kind of takes a turn. In 2023, basically, my whole life was like crumbling before my eyes. Like, me and my husband were struggling in a relationship. I was looking at getting divorced. I just wasn't being a very good like wife and mother, I would say at that time too, very frustrated. And everything became about my business because that was the only thing that was essentially bring me happiness. But then at the same time, that was a bit of a struggle too. I was trying to like make it work. But when your environment's the way it was, where it's just like you're just sad and angry and upset all the time, and then you get in front of like the camera and you try to be happy, there's just a disconnect there. And so what ended up happening basically is that, and I really credit my husband for this because he just had an encounter with God in such a powerful way. My husband was, like I said, he's a musician. He was playing in the bar a lot. He ended up, we were saying we were believers, but not really acting like it. So he plays in bars and he was like drinking. He ended up smoking a lot, like doing like a lot of marijuana every night, and his life became about those things. And so one night, he just got on his knees and he just really just gave the Lord everything, and he said, I can't do this anymore. Like, either you're going to do it, Lord, or no one's going to do it, essentially. And so, yeah, when that happened, like, I just saw such a drastic change in him, and just like overnight, like, you want to talk about being a new creation. It just was so powerful. And yeah, it just really influenced me. And we basically had a revival in this house. Our kids gave their lives to the Lord as well. This is the beginning of 20, and we just thought, you know what, like, we just felt called to maybe be missionaries or something like that. And so I stopped doing my business. He stopped doing music. We started homeschooling the kids because we wanted to be able to travel and go and be flexible. And so basically for a whole year, we just like did a lot of church stuff, I would say, sought the Lord and learned and grew. And for me, I was just like, what, if God's not in it, then there's no point for me. I was like, if God's not in my business, if he's not in my life, then what's this all for? And so that's essentially why I didn't do my business for a year. But then towards the end of that year, 2024, I just felt like the Lord was saying, your business is, part of your ministry. This is part of how you're going to reach people. And so, yeah, so I came back to my business at I would say, Q, and very cautiously started, like, building it up again, reconnecting with people. But now I feel like I have a message now, whereas before I felt like it was just like, oh, I have this business and I'm trying, doing, striving, and now it's like more from a place of rest, more from a place of abiding, more from a place of, I have a message, and that's the part that's important, and the business is the vehicle of, like, the gift, the talent, the message, the what I feel like my calling is for people, and how I love people is through my business. So as you can see, it was like quite a it was quite a whirlwind. But that's essentially, and when I say stop my business, like, really stopped, deleted everything. I had booked like my highest client to date. I said I couldn't do, like, deleted my Instagram, like, really finished, never doing it again. And then God said, well, I didn't exactly tell you to do that. But I mean, hey, the gesture is appreciated.
Yeah.
But yeah, so now we're coming back now.
Well, in some ways, I don't want people to miss this because there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there who they have this false belief that once they get their business to a certain point, then they could go focus on their family, or then they could focus on their
Yeah,
loved ones. Then they'll
yeah,
go do other things. But by the time they actually get there, they might have lost it already. And that's
yeah,
what you were just talking about, where you're like, I almost lost my marriage. I almost lost, there had been a custody battle or something, with the
yeah,
kids or something like that. But your life could have been in a totally different trajectory right now, a year and a half ago, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, what a testament from God that He came, had revival to your husband, and your husband's like, hey, we got to change things. And I know you were just saying God didn't tell you to shut down the business, but such a beautiful heart that you had, Melissa, to say, I'm going to give up everything to make this right first,
mm,
and come to a place where you're like, I'm resting, I'm abiding. Because if you didn't have that, I mean, you probably were like, okay, let's just keep the business going. Would have been this tension. I like the thought that came to my mind, and Melissa, maybe this is things you have processed, but you're like, in your heart, you might have been like, it's either God or money. I got to get rid of this idol or this thing that I'm worshiping right now. kill it because I got to go serve God and make sure I have my family right. Is that kind of what was happening in your heart?
I only noticed that after the fact. I think when I
Okay.
came back to my business, I realized that my business was an idol for me. And it was like a lot of things were idols for me that I didn't realize. And I've always been someone that's insecure. When I was a kid, I was very shy, but felt like not really seen, not really heard. At a certain point, I was like, well, I don't really think I have any gifts or talents. And I'm surrounded by my dad, who everyone, he passed away a few years now, but everyone knew my dad. And I was always like, his name's Harold. I was always Harold's daughter, you know. And then with my brother, he's older than me. And so, you know, you're like, you start going to places or whatever. It's like, oh, you're Harold's sister. And then my husband's a musician and he's such a beautiful soul. And then it's like, oh, yeah, his name's Caleb. Strong name, strong biblical name. um, but then it was like, oh, you're Caleb's wife. And so, or girlfriend or whatever it was. And so, kind of always felt like I I'm not seen, you know? And so, when I started doing my business, it was like, now people are going to like, I'm going to be seen, you know, in some ways. I'm going to be seen now. Like people are going to see my talent that I know I have now. And so, yeah, I think you're right. I did recognize that after when I came back that it was an idol for me for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And
You
my
know,
identity was in my business, even
you were trying
work.
to prove to everybody that you are someone else besides of someone's daughter or someone's brother or someone's wife. You're like, I'm me,
Yeah.
who God made me to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. I think I didn't recognize it at the time because at the time I was just like, I'm just doing my business. But like I said, when I came back to doing my business or when I like just saw how beautiful God is and his heart and how he sees me and where my identity really lies, then I recognized like, oh, yeah, I think I was maybe in some ways out to prove something to not only other people, but to myself that I'm worth something, you know, that I'm not
Yeah.
just the leftovers on the side. So I don't know
Yeah.
if it was geared towards other people as such as it was like, I need to prove to myself that maybe I'm worth it. And God
Mm,
showed me that I was.
yeah. That's really good. So when you think about your business now, I'm curious, when you had a massive reset, right? Was
Yeah.
this reset a reset of mindset? Like now you realize, oh, I'm not doing this from a place where I have to prove myself. I'm doing this from a place of rest, right? Is that what happened? Or did also the messaging and the offerings change as well for your business?
When came back again, kind of felt like, okay, now what? Like I knew what I was called to do and what I was going to do, but it was just from, so I kind of tried to, in some ways, bring back like the old stuff in some way because I didn't know how to start back. And it was only through, and I think this is a great lesson too. It's like when I just took action and I moved and I stopped being in that place of like overthinking or like just questioning and second guessing is like when I saw what the message was because I was
Mm,
taking action and I felt like I was being guided where I was supposed to be. I was understanding and seeing who I was becoming and who I was created to be. And so I think through the going, you know, there is a time, there's a season of waiting, there's a season of preparation, and then there's seasons of like, okay, like, you know, you got to go. Like winter, like everything's cold and
yeah.
everything's restful. But then when spring comes, things bloom. And so it was like spring for me. I was like, you know what? I need to grow. I need to go. I need to do things that I was too insecure to do before. Because the other thing too was because my identity was in my business, it's like if my business wasn't doing well, it was like, oh, maybe I'm not good. My business, then you're on this roller coaster of if it's good, you're okay. If it's bad, you're not okay. If people are trying to give you advice, you're thinking, oh, I'm like, am I slow? Am I dumb? Like, you know, like I'm not good at business, like all these things. But it's like, of
Yeah.
course, you're not going to be good. Like when you're just starting, it's normal. And so just to like not have an ego about it either and be like, okay, someone's trying to help me. Like they don't need to say this, they don't need to do this. And they're not doing it for bad reason. They're doing it for a good reason. They want you to grow and shine and learn and get better. And so I had to put my ego aside too and be like, I want to be open to the people that are going to be that God's putting in my life to teach me, to help me, to build a community, fellowship, like all of these things that I think are very important when you have a business is to have support, community, fellowship in different ways. So yeah.
For you, as you have done this reset, I talk about this a lot on the podcast, or when I'm interviewing a lot of people, I ask them like, "Hey, what's the one different opposing view that you have, a unique way that you're growing your business?" Because there's a lot of manipulative tactics out there, right? So I want to be able to
Yeah.
like say like, no, no, I'm doing it differently. And it seems like you're getting more momentum now. That's what we were talking about before the podcast. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm getting momentum. So you're doing different things. I'm curious,
Yeah.
what were the old things, and then what are the new things that you're like, I'm doing this, and this is working.
I think before it was a lot of like overthinking and second guessing and not
Mm.
wanting to take a step of faith. So that stops you from doing a lot of things because then it's like, I think too, when you're more new in business, it's like you feel like you have to prove yourself. You feel like you have to have all the jargony, technical things down and you have to kind of show and prove, like, I'm good, I'm really good. So you're kind of, I think that's like my old way. It's like I was trying to prove my expertise, I guess. And so, like, the new way is, first of all, I think you asked like an opposing view. I think my opposing view in terms of like marketing and things like that is that all strategies work.
Yeah.
We see these ads and people are like, oh, use my thing. Like they show results of their students, use my thing, and they show results. And it's like, yeah, of course, if someone is going to work with you and do exactly what you say, and they get results, it's normal, but you have to find the strategy and the things that align with you. And like you're saying, there's like some shady things going on too in some spaces, but it's like you have to kind of like find the strategies, find the tactics, find the things that work for you, and work with people who are more aligned to how you see things and your approach. And then it's going to work, because if you see like guru who's like posts 7 times a day on every platform, and then you sign up with them, and then you're like, well, I don't really want to post sometimes, but then you don't get the results because it's, and then it's like, oh, this didn't work. And I've done that too, where I've worked with coaches or whoever, and I'm like, oh, it didn't really work. But it's like, well, Mel, you didn't actually do what they said. Like, and so like, so things like that. So I think that, yeah, I think that that's like probably my opposing view. And the new things that I'm doing now is building more community and connection and networking and collaborating and being open. That's very important. Like to be open, to receive, believe and receive. And well, you'll just, amazing things have been happening and have happened. So
I find it fascinating how so many people buy a coaching offer, right?
yeah,
And they buy it because they love the promise, but they actually don't know if they like the person, or they align with their
yeah,
values, or if they like the process. I had another guest previously, Kevin Weiss. He talked about like whenever looking for a coach, you want three things. He said you want to check out the person, you want to check out their process, and you want to check out their product.
yeah.
Like, does it work for you? And I was like, oh
Definitely.
man, that's really good. And look, I already used it. So, wonderful. Shout out to Kevin.
I
But that's
mean,
exactly what you were
like
talking about.
Kevin, yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like it's so important because it's like, especially when you don't know exactly what you need or want. Like it happens so much. Just like we have shiny object syndrome, right? So we see something and we're like, oh, it works. Like let me jump on that. But like Kevin was saying too, it's like who is this person? Like do you appreciate their approach? Do you appreciate what they value, what they believe, how they do things? Like, I think it's important to know those things as well, because then it makes your decision. I mean, we should have informed decisions, right? Like sometimes it's just like, buy my thing, it works. Like, look at all these results, da, 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 da. And it's like, oh, okay, like I'll try it. But it's like, is their approach, will it work for you? Is it a process that you want to go through? And I think, just understanding how we learn, if you can understand how you learn as well, like maybe doing the core, like buying a course and going through it yourself works for you, but maybe you're someone who needs like more of a coaching, like a one-on-one personal coaching experience. Maybe you're somebody that just likes to read and it's like just really, so you have to kind of also
Yeah.
understand how you learn, because that way you're going to retain what you learn. Because it doesn't matter if you learn a whole bunch of stuff. Like we're so knowledge, there's knowledge everywhere, but it's like, are you implementing what you're learning? We're reading the books, we're watching the things, but it's like, are you implementing what you're learning? That's crucial. Because it's
Yeah.
okay to learn and have all the knowledge, but if you're not using it, then it's just like, it's like a doorstop. It looks
Yeah.
nice, it's there, but you know.
Absolutely. And you're 100%. It's fascinating how I love to learn. I have
Me
hundreds
too.
and hundreds of books. And probably 2 years ago, I felt like God challenged me on that. He's like, you're being a hearer, not a doer of the word. And I was just like, ooh. And I feel like I'm a doer of the word of God, but like I'm learning all this stuff, like take action. I'm like, okay, especially for
Yeah.
new entrepreneurs, like just take action. It's going to be messy. I had a mentor that said 50% today is better than 100% tomorrow, right? Like just move, because that's when
Yeah.
you actually know if it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
Everything's in theory. It sounds great. Or
Exactly.
like Mike Tyson, who always said, like, everybody has a plan to get in the ring until they get punched in the face, right? It's like, that's business
That's so
too, right?
good. That's good. That's so true, though. That
Yeah.
is so true.
When you
But
think
that
about
is
it, though, like,
business. Yeah.
dude, I cannot tell you how many times I've written business plans where it's just like, this is going to be awesome. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, COVID happened, JK, right? Like, oh, this happened, like, oh, this happened. There's so many curveballs.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
That's
you,
so
Melissa,
funny.
I want to pivot here a little bit before we
Hmm.
wrap up.
Yeah.
You're a personal branding expert. I think a lot of people struggle with personal branding, and this is your niche. So I'm trying to like show people what you're made out of right here. But I know a lot of people struggle with like the problem is not, and maybe you might correct me, but from my observation, when it comes to personal branding, the problem is that they don't know what to pick about who they are. It's that they have too many options to pick for who they are. They're like, I like this, I like this, I like this, I like this. They're like, I love 10 things and I want to put all of it into one package.
Mm.
And they don't know what to do, especially when it comes to like being on social media and stuff. So speak to
Yeah.
maybe your key insights on how do you do personal branding when it comes to you love too many things?
Yeah, it's so funny actually you're saying that, because I have a podcast as well. And just today dropped, I have an episode and it's about specificity, and how like when you become more specific, you can actually grow your brand bigger.
Yeah.
I do have an episode on multi-passionate entrepreneurs too, like when you're feel called to do all the things, which there is a process for that too. But I think that especially when you're new, like I was saying before about shiny object syndrome, it's like you want to do everything because everything's like at your fingertips, or like everything looks cool. But if you can just start with one thing, if you can really pick the thing that you have on your heart to do, that you really feel connected to, because like it's true that we can like a lot of things, but there's something in you that it's like you just you have a passion for it. And if you can start there and become known for that and get comfortable and get like understanding that one thing, especially when it's coming from a personal brand kind of point of view and a messaging point of view and what your story is and experience and all of these things, then when you go to expand, because people already know and trust you, they're gonna see that, okay, Kevin's doing this other thing. Yeah, he's cool. He's super good at this. So I know he's gonna smash that. Like, I'm gonna support him. And it just becomes easy when people, like we were saying before, when people know you and they trust you, that when you come with something, they're like, okay, like I know they're a person of integrity. I know that they believe this. This was their story. And I see it a lot of times where I worked with someone who had the slashes, but she had built her business for one thing, and just everyone knew her heart for community, for helping, certain group of people, that when she added things, people were like still getting behind her because of the personal brand and because of the message that she was able to put out there that we worked together on. People were just rallying behind her. So when you have too many things, see which one really is that you're, first of all, that you're passionate about, that you love, that you know can help people. Don't forget, it's about helping people, not just, at the end of the day, the gifts and the talents that we have are for other people. It's to help them solve a problem, meet a desire, whatever it is. And so, like, if you can just zero in on what that thing is before you start adding a whole bunch of other things, then that's like, for me, that's like key. Like, start small and then expand, if anything, and not do it the other. Everyone tries maybe to do it the other way around.
Yeah. And
Because
I have
yeah,
fallen so much in that mentality of, let me try to be catch all to everybody for
yeah,
my branding for years,
yeah,
that I was like, okay, I had a friend of mine, my business partner, actually, Dan Sanchez. He was like, just try something for 6 months. And then after that 6 months, he was like, could you do this for another 2 years? Like, my 6 months was just my checkpoint. He's like, could
yeah,
you talk about this topic for 2 years? I'm like, 2 years?
yeah,
Oh my gosh. I have so many other things I'm passionate about. He's like, I know we could add that stuff later, but can you do it for 2 years? And I remember thinking, I had a podcast called the Entrepreneur Podcast. This was
mm,
back in like 2020. I was like, I don't know if I would want to talk about this for 2 or 3 years. I like it, but it's not the thing. And that's where we were like, oh, I really love this and this. And like, it's okay to
yeah,
experiment and reset in those
yeah,
moments,
yeah,
which is huge about
definitely.
personal branding. I think you're the expert. You tell me.
Well, no, that's it. And like I was saying before, like, also when you start, when you take those steps and you move, like for me, things started to get clearer because I
Yeah.
was moving and I was like saying, oh yeah, actually that doesn't quite work, or oh, this really works, So yeah, it's about like making that decision, and then, like your partner said, like just stick with it and see, like, is it like, is this viable? Is this helpful? Do I love it? Like, is this helping people? Do I feel called to this? Like, all of these things. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Melissa, for you, as everyone's growing their business, there are challenges. Everybody has their challenges growing. What's the challenge that you're having right now as you're trying to grow your business?
So now, like, coming back, like I said, from quite a long break, like over a
Yeah.
year, and knowing how scattered I was before, I would say, now is like I'm really trying to focus more on building systems and just seeing what's going to work for me, for my clients. Because I worked in corporate for like over 20 years, and I was always, wherever I worked, I was always in charge of training people. And so I would make, just out of my own time, I would often make guides and cheat sheets for the people that I was training, because it's like, well, this is what you actually need. Like, the book is this thick, but you only need these three things, Like, I worked
Yeah.
at a bank. So you imagine, I was like, you don't need all of that. But having said that, I was always in customer service as well. And
Yeah.
so this is always something that I just have on my heart is like experience, customer and client experience. Um, and so yeah, so what I'm working on now is like systems just to make sure that, my client experience is good, and that, I'm working smarter, not harder. I have family. We homeschool as well. I'm like the primary homeschooling teacher at home. So it's like also understanding like what's my energy, what I have the capacity to do, like not making my life complicated when it doesn't need to be, knowing what my schedule is, time blocking certain things, not taking calls on certain days or certain times. So just really making sure that my systems are working, and that like so far what I've been doing has been working for me. So just to like do more like system automation,
Yeah.
setting those up properly.
Is there specific systems that you're thinking of that you're like, oh, I need to automate this, or I need to have an SOP for this, that is the bottleneck for you right now?
Right now, I want to work more towards like a call booking funnel so that people can have the information that, I mean, I have a website that, does some of the lifting, but to really have a funnel that people can get some information, because I also want to help as many people at the same time as possible.
Yeah.
So if this call booking system can give them something, some information, some, like a little mini workshop that helps them before they book a call so they can get the other, more in-depth work, then that's kind of where my focus is right now that I want to work on and develop.
I love it. All right. Melissa, as we wrap up, there are 5 questions that I've been asking all my guests because I'm trying to do a 2026 expert led business trend report and what's working for them, what's not. So these are the other 5 questions. These are rapid
Okay.
fire. We're calling the fast
Okay.
five. I'm going to
Okay.
not answer. I'm going to try so hard. Just keep my mouth shut.
Okay.
um, but I'm just going to get to you and then we'll go from there. So, question number 1, what's something in your business you're experimenting with right now?
Oh, something I'm experimenting with? Ooh, probably the call booking funnel.
Okay.
Probably that.
All right. Question number 2, what part of your business feels the most influx these days?
Um, like
Like the one part that keeps you up at night that you're like, I need to work on this area.
the call booking funnel.
We got the call booking funnel. Let's ask question number 3.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Let me say for the first one, I'm more experimenting with my content actually these
Okay.
days. Yeah,
I
yeah.
like it. So, question number 1, content. Question number 2,
Content, call booking funnel.
question number 3, then is what's a goal you're building toward this year that you're really excited about?
Oh, I definitely want to build a community, a bigger community, and also my husband, I have a desire to have like a creative center. So
Mm,
I would love to like a place where people can come do content, video, podcasting, but also a place where kids can come and learn skills from experts. Like that would be amazing. We have that on our radar.
I love it. Okay, so I got to ask the follow up question on that one. The community, is it a virtual community, in person community? Which type of community?
It would be an in-person community, yeah. I
Yes.
mean, I definitely have a virtual one, but this particular endeavor would be in person.
That's so huge. That'd be awesome. All right, last question. What type of legacy do you want to leave for your kids?
Ooh, wow. I This is what I really have on my heart to do. This is what I feel like I'm actually here for, is to start a love revolution. And what I mean by that is I want my desire is really for people to know, especially women to know that who you ultimately is more important than what you do. and that we can we can come together, and even with our differences, even with whatever it is, that we can come together and just build something beautiful and impact the world in a beautiful, loving way. So if my kids can remember me as someone who just loved people, who made an impact and really tried to bring people together so that people can see themselves, who God created them to be, that would be such a beautiful gift for me, to know that that's how, and just like it trickled all across the world, that people became part of this love revolution.
Mhm. Melissa, I was thinking about our conversation before we hit record, and as you're talking about the love revolution, personal branding, how much personal branding is revealing who you really are. And
Yes.
that's what you're doing for
Yeah.
these women, Christian entrepreneurs or women entrepreneurs that you work with, is like,
Yeah.
I'm going to show you who God says you really are so that they
Yeah.
could truly flourish. And I
Yeah.
just love that. I was just connecting the dots from like the beginning to what you were saying right now and how excited you are about this love revolution, which is
Yeah.
really cool to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah. Melissa, for those who are listening to this and they're like, I really vibe with Melissa, what's the best way for them to reach you and connect with you?
So I don't know if you're going to have links and
I'll
all of
have
that
links
in
to the show
the
notes.
description. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Also, send me the links to those two episodes that you were talking about so I could put them on the show notes of your
Okay,
podcast.
perfect. Yeah. Yeah, I will do. So the best way is, if you want to book a call, there's going to be a link in the description to book a call with me. You can always follow me on my socials. I keep things very simple in my life, like I said about my systems. Everything, everywhere you're going to find me: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. It's all the Melissa Maughn, or all my socials. So if you want to follow me, that would be great. My podcast is called The Brand Bridge, and that is on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, all your favorite streaming networks. And yeah, I would love to like connect with anyone who feels called to reach out, and love to have a chat. Would love to see all the beautiful goodies that are inside of all the people that are going to reach out to me. So yeah, that's how I can connect.
Awesome. Melissa, thank you so much for your time and I appreciate it. And for those who are listening, man, reach out to Melissa. And if you're just like wondering, how do I grow my personal brand? Like she might be the perfect person to connect with. Thank you, Melissa, again. Have a good day.
Thanks.